Local marketing is something some pharmacies have expressed that they lack of knowledge about local marketing, what to do, how to do it. But do you want to, from your experience in terms of interactions with pharmacies, what do you think they need to be doing in terms of local marketing? Because they always think it's really expensive. They think, oh, I'm not going to spend on local marketing, it's really expensive, etc. But in your experience, is it expensive? And what do you think they should be doing about local marketing?
So I think it's a mixture of things. I think what the traditional routes in the past are still valid. So you have the local newspapers and embracing the footfall that is along the high street and people coming into your store. So the poster displays are consistently strong. You need to catch people's attention with that, with a clear, simple message. So picking up on the points earlier, it's about that brand identity, and don't overcomplicate things. It's very easy to get excited with marketing and try and do too much. I think you want to simplify it. Put yourself in the customer or the patient's shoes. What do they want to know? So keep it simple, but also you need to be moving into this digital space as well. And that's what we're hearing, that customers are, the online presence is important. That's where they are as well. So if you imagine virtually, they're on Google, they're searching things. You've got to make sure that you're coming up in their searches, that you have a presence online. So the traditional, I think, still has a place, but you need to move into the digital arena. And like we heard before, it isn't that expensive. Like Facebook has a really good return on investment. And, if all of this is very new to you, do speak to your business mentor at Alphega. Do use the audits and the consultancies and work with third parties. And I think your first point of contact is Alphega for that.
Okay, no, it's good to hear that it's not expensive, and it's good for you to talk about the traditional mindset for marketing, which probably, I'm not saying what my age is now, going back to my day, you could spend thousands on it, but actually there's some easy things you can do, especially with the digital space, which we heard from Nick and Sam, and in terms of training for customer services you talked about earlier, didn't you, Lorna? So that's really important as well. So that's good to know.
I think it's about knitting it all together. So like Lorna mentioned, you have something to say. What do you want to be famous for? And then, if you have a limited budget, then what is the most effective, marketing options you have? Yeah,
and you mentioned earlier as well, sometimes you don't have to spend. There's some free resources out there you could use. As Alphega members could use Alphega. Those customers could potentially look at third parties like Near Street, like Pharmacy Mentor. So I think there is, support out there, but it's actually, we talked right at the beginning, I think, we talked about time and knowledge and education, I guess. So it's actually getting the pharmacist on that journey in the first place, and which is what we're here to about today in terms of our first Reset Revive webinar, to get people thinking about that journey and what they want to do in 2022, don't you? Thank you very much, Sam. Really good answer, thank you. Lauren, did you want to come in on that local marketing aspect?
I did. I just wanted to recount something that happens in our local village. There's a little business community within the village, and every Christmas they have a walk around. So I think from a pharmacist's point of view in local marketing, try and get involved in those local open nights, for example. Open up your doors, have fun games for the kids to come in. That is local marketing as well. You could even think quite differently, and I would challenge you to do that. So why not link in with a local church or a local school? They all have open days, they have fun fairs that go on, and maybe just have a presence there in that different environment. That's another omni-channel. Be where your customers are. Yeah, so it's just try and think a little bit differently on top of the local media that Sam's talking about, on top of the digital presence as well. Think about those events, third-party areas where you could form part of the local community in local marketing.
No, I think, now my brain's gone back to my very early days, and I remember being part of, when I was in East London, the Tottenham's Retailers Association.
Yeah,
so there's lots of associations with local businesses who may be in the same boat as the local pharmacy. So you have newsagents, bakers, etc. So actually, I remember we started up our own retail association to get people back into the town centre. So actually, it's a good point actually. So pharmacists probably not alone in this. So actually speak to your neighbouring businesses to join forces. So that's a valid point. Thank you, Lorna.